グリザイアの魔界。
All she needed to do was to remind Michiru that they had a perfectly good bicycle, but those simple words hadn't made it out to her mouth. And she's been flustered to point out that the relay approach wasn't going to work, given that everyone was running from the same starting point. A bit later, she considered trying to contact them to explain all this. But Persona's cell phone was currently missing its battery and sensor, so there wasn't much to be done. In the chaos of war, platoons sometimes went to the battle without realizing that they grabbed a defective radio for their unit. Perhaps this was how it felt to be an officer shouting uselessly into his transceiver, unable to warn his men that they were charging into a truck. Technology sent a chill down his spine. In an actual combat situation, mistakes like this will have grave consequences.
などと無軌道につらつらと考えているぐらいなら、私自らが自転車に乗って追いかけるべきよね。
This sounds logical enough, but she needed to think it through first. Come to think of it, when exactly was the last time she actually rode a bicycle? Thinking back, she had a distinct sense it had been in the garden of her family's home when she was 6 years old. Her kiddies might not have any training with, so she might be able to ride in one pitch. It's hard to say that she felt especially confident though. There was a very real possibility that she ended up crashing and injuring herself. Imitating Kazami Yuji's surprising handy verbatim, Yumiko looked around her. The gaze soon centered on the boat coffee makers. With a small bubble, the last bit of brown liquid has just dripped down into the pot.
よし、あれを飲みながら待とう。
What? She had to admit it was a sorry excuse for a decision, but it wasn't like they were going to lose their lives if they failed Thanatos' test, and it was often preferable to be somewhat underestimated.
砂糖とミルクはどこなのかしら。
As Yumiko took a mug and poured her head into the fridge, having skillfully convinced herself that her idleness was justified. Michiru, who shot out of the boat like a human bullet only minutes before, was already reaching the limits of her endurance.
脇腹が急に走ったから脇腹が
She's been known to refer to her as a Michiru-sama, the supreme sprinter. Everyone else tended to prefer Matsushima the Hare. The girl definitely had raw power. She was good at most forms of anaerobic exercise, and nobody at Miyama could beat her on the short distance dashes. That said, she could only sprint for around 400 meters at a time. Wherever the distance was greater than that, Michiru rapidly ran out of gas and eventually ends up completely immobile. Today proved no exception. Although she set out at a vigorous pace, Michiru would soon breathe heavily, and the time she reached the 1 kilometer mark. This is technically difficult, please. Please stand by. Yeah, Michiru is vomiting. All the fish go out from her mouth.
朝に食べたお味噌汁全部出ちゃいましたね。チルチル死んじゃうのでしな。いいから早くこれ持って。ちょっとあん たち、こんなとこで何やって。ああ、あまねえ、どうしよう。なんかチルチルが形容しがたい惨状に。入っちゃったか。急に走るからだよ。っていうか、あんた内臓弱いな。みちる様は消化器官が弱くて、食べ物を上手に消化できないから、いくら食べても太らないんですね。インナーマッスルが貧弱で側筋ばっかりだから持久力がないのよ。顔が丸いのも基礎代謝が低いせいだろ、これ。うっさいわね。顔関係ないでしょ。ってみちる観察してる場合じゃないでしょ。急がないと時間ないよ。とりあえず携帯を指定座標に持っていかないと。多分一番足が速いのってマキちゃんだから、マキちゃんお願い。うっしゃ任しとけ。ぬりゃー。私もみちる様を埋めたら後から追いかけるから。埋めないで。ダメだ。私ももう限界。相当していい
Like the anchor on a rally race, Makina sets itself off for Michiru's grass and set off in the direction the arrow indicated. Under Kazumi's Yuji direction, she regularly runs laps around the circuses of Yama Academies. A distance about 3 kilometers, she knew how to approach the task at hand. Instead of rushing forward, she set a regular pace and covers her stamina. Before too long, she reached the perk at her destination and she was catching her breath. The four in the high rank began to run. 急になるなよ。びっくりすんだろが。Good job, Makina.
こんにちは、タナトスです。
おっす、オラマキナ。
絶対見てくれよな。
ノリいいなー、タナトスさん。なんかちょっとあんたのこと好きかも。
お遊びはもういい？何はともあれ間に合ったようね。おめでとう。松島みちるはどうしたの？
チルチルは途中でぶっ倒れてヘドまき散らしてるのよ。サッチンはもうすぐ追いつくと思うけど、あまねえはパイオツでかくて走るの苦手だからどっかで座り込んでっかも。
榊由美子は来なかったのね。
Unfortunately, she's not coming to with us.
あれな、ユミちゃんは走るの大嫌いなお座敷犬みたいな女だからな。仕方がねえのよ。
そう。じゃあ時間もないし、次の問題ね。
マジでか。
サイモンが言いました。現在時刻は7時17分。止まった時の鐘の下。なんつ
った？座標は？
ヒントはそれだけ。急がないと次の制限時間まで残り20分を切ってるわよ。頑張って。
What? We need the bell?
なんなのよさ
それ !The present hour. 7:17. Where is that AM or PM? Check the time on the digital pad. Before she found it was currently 9:20 AM.
金どっち？何かのトンチか。つかんなもんわかるかボケー。
First she be forced to run like a maniac. Now she's behind some ridiculous riders. It was tempting to her the phone in her hand down to the turn. Then again, right now, every moment she thought was probably being observed by their smart new friends as part of an evaluation process. It was frustrating to be sure, but at the end of the day, agents like her were always just pawns in someone else's game. With a small sigh, she let her anger dissipate.
もうオーダーはシンプルにって習わなかったのかよ。現場の工作員に余計なこと考えさせるとろくなことにならないのよ。
The current time was 9:30. The more anxious people grow, the more frequently they check the time. And according to Kazami Yuji, Makina's teacher, nobody are useless as the guy who spent half his shirt looking at the clock. She understood that getting faster was going to get her anyway, but even so, she couldn't help glancing down at her watch repeatedly.
ありのまま今起こったことを話すのよ。
She made it on time, yes, and received new directions, but unfortunately they were all but incomprehensible. As Makina could repeat Thanos' riddles word for word, such a requisite game linked in confusion.
どういう意味？それがわかんねえから無駄に苛立ってんのよ。何かのクイズとか？問題にすらなってねえのに。
Right now, Thanos' directions were their marching orders, but orders generally need to have some kind of work, and she only gave them a vaguely descriptive hint. Then where, who, what, and how had all been omitted entirely. There are no real specifics to work from.
いつに関しては時間制限もあるし、残りはあと17分。どこでは指定された座標があるんだし、ここでってことだよね。誰がは携帯を持っている人間が？でもタナトスさんはミチル様に指令を出したんじゃ。ミチル様だけに意味がわかるキーワードが含まれてるとか？チルチルに電話して聞いてみっか？電話って言っても私たちの携帯は SIM カードとバッテリーを抜いたままだから使えないよ。そっか。タナトスさんにもらった電話が使えてもかける相手の携帯が使えなきゃ意味ないか。それにタナトスさんが言ってたでしょ、うかつに携帯電話は使っちゃダメだって。敵地にて通信途絶、自己判断能力が試されているというわけか。せめてユミちゃんと相談できれば。あいつこういう頭使うの得意なのに。
As they look around, they try to devise some sort of solution. A nearby object called Sachi's Aile.
公衆電話、マキちゃん、公衆電話があるよ。いや、だからさ、チルチルもユミちゃんも携帯は使えないんだから。他の人は？例えば学園長とかハルデラさんとか。いきなり意味不明な電話をするのもあれだけど、何かヒントをもらえれば。
Retrieving a wallet from the pocket of her maid, Shati fished out a few coins. But just as she reached out the payphone, it already began to ring. Much like Professor Pavlov, who developed the unfortunate habit of feeding his dog every time he heard the sound of a bell, she couldn't help but pick up the phone and answer. もしもし？
人に頼るのは反則よ。自分たちの努力でどうにかなさい。
Oh shit!
タナトスさんから？こちらの行動が読まれているか、どこかから監視されているのかな。どうしよう、マキちゃん。怒られちゃったよ。
As of this moment, it was entirely possible that Thanos had already made a note of such inability to think of his Makina tendency to freeze under pressure. From Thanatos' perspective, whether they successfully complete this probably wasn't that crucial. More than anything else, she was testing how they approach it. It was a bit like one of those exams where you do get 0 points for the correct answer if you didn't show your work properly. Right now, they had to calm down and really think this through. Makina forced herself to take a long deep breath. 残り時間は。Makina reached out to the digital balance for Sachi, who didn't want to try to pass it, took out herself, although it was much help without its battery. She had to rely heavily on this little device. Apart from communication as a timepiece, it still has communication tool, a portable computer, a camera, a TV, and even a wallet. It also had these essentially handy all in one machine. However, was that losing is at her convenience in any number of ways. Was there a cloud somewhere in the area perhaps? As she looked around the park, Sachi happened to glance, and after a moment her eyes wide. マキちゃん、あれ？ When Makina looked over, she found Sachi pointed towards an old church that stood adjacent to the park facilities. There were clocks on the building tower just below its sizable bed. Its hands were frozen in place, displaying a time of 7:77. 現在時刻7時17分。止まった時の鐘の下？きっとあれのことなのよさ。つうかそのまんまじゃん。なんで気づかなかったんだろう。多分冷静に周囲を観察できているか試されたんだろうね。
にかく行ってみるのよさ。
The door to the house of God is never locked to anyone, even sheep who stray from the flock. It has probably been decades since this building last served as a house of worship, judging for the chaotic jumble they found within. Naturally, there was no power. Flipping the light switch accomplished nothing. In the light that filtered in between the bars on the windows, the inner walls were faintly visible. They were covered in spray-painted graffitis that it was difficult to decipher. It seems clear that this place had come to serve as something of a hideout for a group of rebellious younger people.
どっかに上に出られる階段とかない？マキちゃん、こっちに階段があるよ。多分これで屋根裏に上がって、そこから屋根に出て時計塔に登るんじゃないかな。階段っていうか、はしごじゃね？私が先に登るから、マキちゃんは後からついてきて。サッチ、ライト持ってる？小さいのしかないけど、大丈夫。
After coming down the steep creaky stairs, they did indeed emerge into an attic of sorts. Moving a small circle of light around the room, Sachi found that it was full of empty beer cans and cigarette butts. The delinquents had evidently invaded this space as well. The push door leading up to the room had been left half open, presumably to keep the room ventilation for the smoker. By clambering out through that, she would mostly like to get access to the clock tower.
屋根に出たよ。時計塔の釣り鐘の下だっけ。おーい、サッチー、なんか見つけた。黒い箱がある。汚れてないし、まだ新しいから、最近置かれたものだと思う。どんな箱？開けてみようぜ。待って。なんかね、すごーく嫌な予感がする。なんだよそれ。私も今そっち行くのよ。待って、来ないで。箱の上に手紙みたいなものがテープで貼られてるから。
Generally speaking, a bad feeling is actually the result of your unconscious mind reacting to the number of subtle negative phenomena. For many people, they trigger a silly superstitions, a shoelace breaking as you leave the house or a black cat crossing your path. But once you experience a certain amount of danger, your ability to sense that something generally always grows far more reliable. With the expression of someone watching a malevolent feeling sneaking past, Sachi slowly approaches the box, retrieves the envelope, taps into its lids, and opens it. Oh, a bomb! Dismantle this bomb within the time you have been allocated. Its contents were unfortunately exactly what she feared. For a moment, the world seems to look around. Gravity was pulling her in every direction at once. On the lid of the box, below the letter she just removed, was the countdown displayed there remaining time in segment number. There are 7 minutes and 60 seconds left. Frowning her brow and bitten down on her lip, Sachi drew a quick, sharp breath through her nose and then turned the pockets of her skirt inside out. It sometimes says that a woman's skirt's pockets are full of mysteries, but these particular pockets were stuffed with what Makina calls Sachi's secret tools. They made something of a racket as they clattered to the ground. Sachi! Oi, Sachi! どうしたのよさ? なんかあったの? Yes, it's a bomb. It's a bomb.
大変、マキちゃん。爆弾見つけちゃったよ。これを解除するのが今回の課題みたい。マジでか。どうすんのよさ。
Continue?
時間も自信もあんまりないけど、やってみる。マキちゃんは逃げて。アホな子一挙し。なんか手伝えることねえの？じゃあ、教会の中に戻ってカーテンの暗幕を持ってきて。了解したのよ。
With dramatic flourish on her skirt, Sachi lowered herself to the ground. Her eyes were fixed on the small bowl case before her. There were a total 6 screws holding an ordinary in the plate. All of them could be removed with an ordinary 2 Phillips screwdriver. But when she looked more closely, she realized that one of them was sticking out slightly out of its holes. This was a very common thread. The one loose screw was almost contained. Certainly, the thread turning it to the left would tighten it, bringing it to the contact with a switch that would set off the bomb. Given the presence of this mechanism, it was safest to assume that the other 5 screws were also potentially dangerous. For the time being, she decided to stick the blade of a flat screwdriver under the lid right beneath the loose screw. Prying it open slightly should allow her to peek inside. After a while, she stopped and blinked in surprise. The gap between the box and his lid was sealed tightly with black silicone.
つまり光センサー式の起爆装置か。もしくはガスが封入されていて、蓋を開けて箱の中に光が入ったり、ガスが抜けて気圧が変わると爆発する仕掛けかな。
In the latter scenario, there wasn't much she could possibly do. A gas-based mechanism, you can even cut a tiny hole in the box and slid in the microfiber scope to see what was inside. There were only 2 real ways to dispose of a ball like that. Either you work in an airtight chamber where you could slowly equalize the atmospheric pressure inside and outside the box, or you give up and detonate it remotely.
バルーンを使って気圧操作しようにも、そんなもの持ち歩いてないし、持っていたところで箱の中の気圧を調べるための密閉ドリルがない。
Sachi, the other toolbox contains specialist equipment, that's all. But giving it a string of height, she hoped leaving it behind her locker and in our dormitory.
取りに行くからそこに置いておいて。サチンどうよ、やれそうなの？わかんない。やれるだけやってみるけど、やっぱりマキちゃんは逃げて。うんにゃ、どこにも行かねえ。私はノーメックスのメイド服着てるから多少の爆発なら耐えられるけど、マキちゃんはね、お願い避難して。死ぬなよ。約束できる？うん、大丈夫。約束するよ。約束破ったら地獄まで追いかけてパンツむしり取って泣かしてやるのよ。わかった？大丈夫。信じて。じゃあ頑張れ。
Maki clearly wasn't happy to go. If anything, the look on her face suggested severe reluctance. But after a moment of hesitation, she placed the cutter on the floor and scrambled back to the church.
信じてとは言ったものの、これはどうしたものか。
Before anything else, she dragged the thick curtains back in her had brought her over the box. From this point forward, she'd been relying mainly on her sense of touch. Given that a ladder had been tapped into the box, it was reasonable to conclude that there were any electrostatic sensors on the surface. Simply touching it would have sent the box.
残り時間は5分弱。箱の大きさから考えれば200メートルも離れれば十分だと思うし、残り時間が3分を切った時点で手に負えないと思ったら諦めて全力で逃げよう。
Slipping her hands underneath the cutter, she began by reaching out to tap gently on the lid of the box. As a general rule, vibration sensors are oriented downward because of the Earth's gravity, making them slightly less sensitive to vertical impacts. Repeatedly tapping the lid with her fingers, she looked for the places where the sound seemed hollow, and selected one of them as the point where she drilled her hole. Once this was done, she cut herself a bit of tape about 5 cm in length, temporarily placing it next to the spot where she'd be drilling. If gas began to escape through her hole, she used this to cover it up before the air pressure inside the box changed drastically.
できれば液体窒素で処理してからが良かったんだけど。
She didn't have any on her hand, and these days some bombs had backup sensors that would react to sudden drops in the temperature. Pushing these thoughts from her mind, Sachi brought her tray to the box lid, positioned carefully and began to turn the handle. She was slowly carefully as quietly as possible. If gas began to escape from the hole, she had to move quickly to apply the tape before the board exploded. A small leak shouldn't be fatal. The volume of the gas inside would naturally change as the temperature outside fluctuated, so a hair trigger sensor would be practical. So now she completed a tiny hole in the aluminum case, less than 0.1 mm in diameter. There was no sign of anything escaping through it. Apparently she didn't have the gas trap on her hand. As she exhaled and released, Sachi could feel swelling pushing its way out of her pores. She wasn't out of the woods yet. It could still be equipped with geomagnetic vibration terminal or light sensor. Geometry and vibration sensor could easily set a bomb off prematurely. If they were present, the setting would probably be rather lax. As long as she didn't pick up the box or start kicking it around, there shouldn't be a problem. Also, the box was wet, meaning it absorbed and released heat quickly, and of course, of drilling to it, she confirmed that it was insulated. She probably assumed that it was equipped with thermal sensor that could react to the heat of a human body.
ということは、残った問題は光感知。
Like the other types of sensor, overlay sensitive photo detector could be risky and require you to take great care when you're transporting your bomb. Usually give yourself a margin for error. In other words, big exposure to related thing that would probably wouldn't trigger reaction.
爆弾解除にはずとかだろうない。
That's how would she have done things if she been the one planting this device.
私ならそうする。
Nautica suddenly shine her flashlight into the small hole situated in the lid of the box. The spot suddenly within that began to beep a faint but unmistakable warning and she lowered the intensify her light. The tunnel saw she as
こ
well.
れは当たりだね。まず間違いなく光感知センサーが仕組まれてる。
Just in case she tried using infrared light as well, but a different sensor react
つ
audibly.
まり暗視装置は使えないってことか。
There were 3 minutes left. If she was going to run for it, it had to be
手
now.
探りでどこまでやれるかわからないけど。
She got so far that backing down was no longer an option. Given the cutter drive over the box, she set about removing the screw for his leg, guided only by his central touch. The screws in question were commonplace pen heads. Judging by the small punch marks she could feel on their heads, they were made into the international standard. Carefully bringing her screwdriver to bear, she began by removing the screws that turned to left. Those that didn't turn left, she turned right instead. One of them refused to budge either way. It was the dummy. She ground it down into his head with a drill, then snapped it with the her wire cutter once it was sufficiently weakened. This is the same approach on the Bobby drive screw she noticed earlier on. Removing the lid would only have taken a few seconds if all the screw had been worn, but the delay ended up costing her quite a bit of time. After pausing briefly to catch her breath, Sachi pushes her flat screwdriver under the box lid and slowly pry it loose. A bit of pressure was sufficient to turn the silicone seal holding it in its place. At long last, she had access to the inside. Tracing her fingertips along the various components, Sachi began to map out the structure of the box. She had to identify all of the sensors by feel, then cut them away one by one.
これがバッテリーかな。静電源と副電源に予備電源。タイマー用のリチウム電池を入れると4電源。バッテリーから切り離しても起爆回路が一旦オンになるとゲート信号をオフにしてもサイリスタはオンのままになる。発信した電圧はコンデンサに結合されて、サイリスタがオンになるとコンデンサ以降の電圧はほぼ 0V になるから、どこから切れば。
Let's watch the fast. Sachi tried to piece together a mental image of the circuit. All the wiring that led to a battery to the primer, including a number of dummies, but with no time to take notes, it wasn't easy. Everything was getting jumbled up in her head.
こんな時、風見さんがいてくれたら、やっぱ無理でしたって丸投げしちゃうんだけどな。
Cutting away all the sensors that connected to the storage device wouldn't take too long. But if she severed the wire harness connected to the main battery, the subway would sense the drop of voltage, activate and set off the bomb. Before cutting off the main power source, she needed to use an alligator clip as a jumper to create a bypass, and hook out the battery of her own using a volume die and crisp the oscillator to control the frequency of the current. Thereby establish a temporary circuit that will prevent the system from realizing the main battery has been disconnected. Once this was accomplished, she could safely cut the main wire harness. Even if the sub-power system reserve circuit activated, the electricity would reach the detonator. However, without oscillator escape available to her, she had to control the volume of the signal based only on her instinct.
電源の規格が決まっている以上は、ある程度は予想がつくけど、これはもう賭けだね。
Closing her eyes, Sachi took a deep breath and brought her wire to the thin 0.5mm harness leading to the main battery.
大丈夫。間違ってない。
A small snap she cut through the wire. Yeah, it explodes. That was a good thing, of course, but right now she simply deceived the bomb into believing that its main power source was still active with the help of a single 9-volt battery. Unless she used this time to deal with the detonators, the secondary power source would activate as soon as the timer hit 0 and the bomb would go off. The actual primer was an electrical type embedded in the explosive material itself. The only option was to drag out the wire hidden in the bottom of the box, bypass the detonator using resistors, and then cut off one by one. Taking a drill, Sachi quickly made a new hole in the side of the box. Then used the pick she made from the spoke of bicycle wheels to pull out the detonator wires. In total, there were 15 different harnesses connected to the transistor circuit and the capacitor. That included positive, negative, and disconnection detection wires, so it was impossible to detect them simply by touching them. After pulling the wires through the new hole, she studied them under her flashlight. They connected them to dummy load resistors to various values, isolated the detonators so that she could severe them. With the laser system to hide the surge in voltage that following every cut, she steadily worked all her way through the wiring that lead to all 5 detonators.
これで最後。
Once the detonator was silenced, she could theoretically drop kick this bomb across the room without fearing of its exploding. But had she overlooked anything, if she had planted this bomb, she would have implanted a backup mechanism that would activate in this very moment of the relief. Slightly cautiously, she double-checked the wiring, but found that unexpected, she couldn't feel any extra explosive on the box lid or its interior walls either. The classic trick would be the wire that pulls out of the pin of a grenade when you realize and pick that up that box, but there didn't seem to be any of that sort either. As commonly such alongside the sign of release, the countdown time finally tickled down to 0. Actually, there was one explosion.
小峰幸、やりました。
Did you see that, Kazami-san? Looking out to the sky, she saw her beloved instructor face and couldn't help but boast to him.
おーい、サッチー、終わったの？もう時間過ぎてっけど、爆弾どうなったの？なんとか成功したみたい。っていうか、マキちゃん、逃げなかったの？俺がサッチン見捨てて逃げるような女に見えるのか？わかるけど、もし私が失敗したらどうするつもりだったの？そんときは一緒に死んでやる。見殺しよりはマシじゃんね。ダッチもねえこん一丁らんで、終わったんならちゃっちゃと降りてこうし。
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, well done, Sachi.
マキちゃん、電話。タナトスめー。おーこらー、私らぬっ殺す気か。
あらびっくり。電話に出たということは、まだこの世にいるのかしら？
おめえふざけんなよ！爆弾とかやりすぎじゃねえの？
ちょっとしたドッキリイベントじゃない。そんなに怒らなくても。
マキちゃん、これ、プラスチック爆弾じゃなくて、ただの粘土だよ。やられたね。
これはあくまで能力査定試験よ。本物を使うわけないじゃない。とはいえ、装置自体は本職の人間に作らせたものなのだから、それを解除したことは正直に驚いたし、褒めてもあげましょう。
でも、解除できるように作ってあったんですよね。
そうね。解除できる爆弾とそうでない爆弾の見分けがつくかというのも審査の一つだったわけだし、私はあなたの出した結果を高く評価します。
もう、完全にもてあそばれてるのよさ。
箱の中の手紙はもう見つけた？
手紙だ？これかな？あったよ、マキちゃん。
よろしい。ではサイモンが言いました。その手紙を松島みちるに渡しなさい。
まだ続くのかよ。
制限時間はちょっと長めの60分。もう時計は動いているわよ。急いで。
More game!
なんだこれ。なんかイライラするのよさ。今すぐ何かに八つ当たりしたい。ものすごく。仕方がないよ。急ごう、マキちゃん。
It was frustrating that things were going the way she wanted, and it was frustrating to be ordered around by someone who didn't bother to explain things properly. Michael understood his frustration was fundamentally childish, but when no one even bothered trying to course her, it was hard to accept this kind of treatment. Of course, being a grown-up was all about swallowing your frustration and finding ways to cope with situations you couldn't accept on the emotional level. But in this particular respect, it is so Michael was still something of a child. Orders from the people upstairs are always going to be unfair. If they were afraid, there wouldn't be any reason to issue them as orders. Might as well quit if you don't like it. No one will stop you. That's just how things are in this line of work. If Kazami Yuji were here with that, he would probably have told her something along those lines. Clutching the letter they found inside the box, Makina and Sachi set off running down the road they followed to the church. Their eyes were searching for a certain blonde babe, firstly lying in heat somewhere in the vicinity. As they nearly shut in themselves, the two girls finally found the needle they were looking for in a truly piteous state. Wait, you still there? The night before, Master Shima had glutiously gobbled down great quantities of fried fish, and immediately after a hearty breakfast, she set out running as fast as she could. So it was exactly surprising that she is now lying on her side by the road, steadily spewing out of the contents of her stomach. Her eyes were glass and unfocused. Her body was totally immobile. She resembled nothing so much as the French sea mammal. Amane was standing a few meters away, gingerly poking her with a stick.
チルチル。ああ、朝食を全部吐き出してしまって、昨晩のハゼまで吐き出していますね。
What a sad woman you are, Michiru.
そんなことより間に合ったの？はい、そしてこれが新しい指令です。この手紙をミチル様に渡せとタナトスさんが。ほらチルチル、しっかりするのよ。よしよし。
The tenderness of the interrogator slapped me down, freezing her away in the middle of the torture session. Marking up for Michiru up on the ground and shoved the letter in her face.
ほら、これ見るのよ。うわ。
They now received their third mission of the day. Its nature was quite simple. The envelope contained a single map that seems to have been printed on a photocopier. Someone had circled a part of it in a red pen and jotted a note in the margin of the papers. Proceed to the designated location with the detail you have located.
ここはどこ？安心してください。ここは地球ですよ、ミチル様。お気を確かに。いや、そういうことじゃなくてね。うわ、なんかミチル様臭い。臭いとか言うな。言われなくても分かってるわよ。吐いちゃったんだから仕方ないでしょ、もう。女の子ってさ、臭いって言われるの何気に傷つくよね。そうじゃなくて、この地図の場所はどこなのって。なぜ伝わらないこの思い。恋愛にも似たもどかしさが私の胸を締め付けてるわよ。それってただの胸焼けじゃん。つか、なんで今さら地図？また携帯で誘導すればいいじゃんね。地図がちゃんと読めるかのテストとか？地図なんて誰でも読めるんじゃん。それを言ったらラリーにナビはいらないって話になるよね。指定場所は山の中でしょうか。ほぼ一本道ですし、迷いようがないのでは。
Retrieving a curvy meter from the pocket of her skirt, Sachi began to move it along the windy road on their map.
現在位置から約40キロ前後の距離と思われます。私この道知ってるわ。
Their new destination was over in the next prefecture, separated by the mountain from their current location. It wasn't far from the farm that supplied egg and chicken to the restaurant Amane parents ran. For a while, she drove out there every morning. At first, those traits had been on the restaurant's motorcycle. After getting her driver's license, she taken their mini truck instead. Day in and day out, in rainy and sharp snow, she speeded out there and back, battling earlier bird street racers who use it as their personal practice track.
まずいな。ここって電車の駅もなければバスも1時間に1本の山の中だよ。タクシーなら間に合うんじゃ？残り時間が50分じゃタクシーでも無理じゃないかな。
Given the time you lose to a traffic signal and such, traveling 40 kilometers in 50 minutes wasn't easy. You had to be average about 70 kilometers per hour. She could try head home and borrow a ride from her parents, but given their time limit, it really seems to be realistic. As Amane racked her brains for a better solution, a rundown store across the street happened to catch her eye. It was a used car dealer with a small sign advertising car for rent. そうか、借りるって手もあるな。みんな、お金いくら持ってる？ At time like this, we need Yumiko-chan.
8200円ですね。2800円。私は24557円。足りるかな？マキナは？ちょっと待ってね。12万6400円？あとはカードになっちゃうけど、カードは多分凍結されてるのよさ。まあこれだけあれば十分か。
generally speaking, you shouldn't expect too much for a rental car. So now we're gonna go for some journey.
セー
Too
ブする
bad
わ。
we don't have. Oh yeah, I forgot to say the first part. Never mind. I don't say more stuff.